Champions! Welcome in, everybody. Joe Quills here with you on this Thursday night, final night of the week here for yours truly. In terms of the night show, got some fun things to talk about here and other things that will come up along the way. We're also keeping track of two games right now. We are keeping track of the Mets and the Brewers, and it's getting late pretty quick for the Mets because they just gave up back-to-back home runs. Well, their pitcher Budo pitched like boot there, and gave up both runs there. And also we have uh, Atlanta and Tampa Bay in Atlanta, and that is a 14-10 game. Atlanta just scored a touchdown, but Tampa Bay um, just got a long kickoff return there, so they're in business there as well. So much for my thinking about playing the under. But anyways, we're here on this Thursday night, and also do want to apologize for last night because we did have some technical issues during the show, and it was not my internet that crashed; it was the program that I use. Um, and welcome in, Voltaire. Hope you're having a good night out there. Um, is that on? Oh, that's on. Okay, you gotta forgive me for that because I just want. I knew who it was. It's just that sometimes those um, the 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 comments that are on X don't usually come into my EV Mux program, but they have been coming in at least on my stream the last few times. So that's why I had to take a double take. I knew who you were. It's just where did that come from? But um, um, yeah, that's. I mean, that's fine. Uh, oh, sorry to hear that, man. Um, yeah, hope everything's okay there. I don't worry. Twitter is such a vast expanse of social media space, and you know what? I'll tell you this. And I appreciate that you support me, and I appreciate everybody that does, no matter what platform you watch this on. So, but about last night, we started a little bit early because the reason why I'm going to be 10 o'clock is when the Bleacher Brothers Network does go live. And I know I'm teasing this left and right, and the, it gets pushed back more and more. Um, and I'm not going to say, it's not going to happen. I know it is. It's just the 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 app and everything like that. We want everything to be working perfectly. We don't want to be a broken down station from the start in the digital world. We want to be up and running. We want to be downloadable, listening to us, everything perfect. Now, the one thing I will tell you is, there's going to be hiccups in the development process, which, I'm not a part of, but I can get an idea of what's going on. So, um, but yeah, so like, if you're driving around one night and you're like, well, I can't watch the video because I'm driving, but you know what? If I pull up that app, I can listen to Joe, or I can listen to um, Defoe's show that debuted this afternoon. Um, Jesus Christ, I can't even remember the name, but that's how special I am today. Um, Let me pull it up here. Of course, something's coming up now, but anyway, um, so that show is this afternoon. My show is at 9 o'clock, and last night there was no golf show, um, so AJ ran a little long with his show. I started about 9:45. I just had a couple of things that had to be done, and I was ready to go. And then we got about 45 minutes in, and the EV Mux program went down. I'm not complaining about EV Mux because I can tell you one thing: you could have perfect pitch. I mean, you can have everything going perfectly for months on end, and then all of a sudden, some minor glitch happens, and that's what I consider it last night because started the program started buffering. It wasn't my internet or anything like that. It was just that something happened where it just stopped, and it happened once on a Saturday morning during also eligible. It's just how we had to leave EV Max, come back in, and we were fine. But going out and going back in, I still couldn't get in. I couldn't get back in. End the show. But I do have a story I want to get to from last night, and we'll get into some of these other things here. Like for example, Antonio Pierce made the news, Rashi Rice update, Patrick Mahomes feeling bad about that injury, an update on that spilled drink in Carolina, and I was about to get to Fernando Valenzuela last night, but I think the Mexican gods were telling me not to do that, but just to see here. Um, let's see here. I'm just catching up here. My no worries. I support when I can. I saw that. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I can understand that because I can tell you that a classmate from my high school graduating class. I think it was Sunday morning. It was either Saturday or Sunday morning because I was working last weekend, and we found out he was killed in a car accident over the weekend. And my high school graduating class, especially the ones that are still here in Philadelphia, we are very tight. Um, and unfortunately, he passed away on the scene over the weekend. So. Um, and pushing to deliver consistent quality content. Yeah, I mean, we're making that next step that we've been wanting to do for a while here, even though I'm not in on the development side. It's um, definitely something that we want to do here at Bleacher Brothers. The tweets come up in my feed and I can listen through my Bluetooth. Yeah, yeah, I mean, basically we're giving everybody options. I give people options within my show. We give options within Bleacher Brothers. Everybody has an option here. So, and that's a great thing because, you can go to whatever show you want to do, you want to listen to. You can prepare for that. You can log in like 5 minutes early and you're ready to go. Um, no, weather was good here last night. Maybe wherever EV Mux is headquartered, I don't know. You know, just those minor glitches and gremlins that come up out of the blue. Um, Yeah, my internet's pretty good considering it is Comcast. Um, but it's when you can't get your employer's internet, it sucks, but that's the way it is. Uh, Pierce News, yeah, we'll be talking about that. Uh, Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, the viewing's tomorrow, but I'm working. Um, I mean, a lot of guys that I graduated with, I talk to them more now than I did when I was in high school. Um, uh, Passing, yeah. I mean, we've had all kinds of deaths even within the last couple of days. I mean, Matumbo and Rose, and how Pete Rose treated Matumbo like Farrah Fawcett, um, like Michael Jackson, what he did to Farrah Fawcett, dying on the same day, stuff like that. Uh, yeah. Um, I miss my old employer's internet so fast for my strings. Yeah, and my employer, and if you can guess where I live and guess about um, the upload speed versus the download speed, it's much faster than what I have in terms of upload, but it's enough to get me by here. Because I know, like when I'm in my local Walmart, you either get the Comcast guy there, the redacted employer that I have, or maybe a third one. And it's like, hey, I can't get it. I just checked the other day again. Okay, I'm on the list as well, but it's just that my apartment complex is in bed with Comcast. Um, uh, Pete Rose, regardless of the mistakes, he played. Yeah, he played baseball hard, and he was the reason why the Phillies won in 1980. But a lot of what Pete Rose did, um, um, the whole Pete Rose thing, we don't know if he bet on baseball as a we don't know if he bet on baseball as a player because the investigation that he had was related to his time as a manager. Is it probable he could have bet on baseball as a player? Yeah, it's probable, but they didn't investigate it, so we will never know. And especially now since Pete's gone, we'll never know. Um, Now, a lot of people are saying, well, lifetime ban, he's eligible for the Hall of Fame now. It's a permanent ban, permanent ineligibility. Obviously, even though it's permanent ineligibility, you can petition. I guess his family and his estate could do that, but I don't know. I mean, I can see arguments both ways, but the problem is he got caught, and it's and also you have other issues as well. He had the issue with sex with a minor and all that, but then again, if you really know like some of the people that are in the Hall of Fame, like Ty Cobb's in the Hall of Fame, he has his issues and everything like that, and um, you have and you even have a writer, Bill Conlon, who used to write for the Philadelphia Daily News. He was a child molester. Um, so you do have shady characters in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and that's going to happen. It's just that Pete Rose broke cardinal rule number one, which is don't bet on baseball, and that's a rule that was in every locker room since basically the beginning of baseball. So the integrity of the game, and a lot of people say, well, steroids messes with the integrity of the game. Well, you got to have the talent too, because for every Barry Bonds, there's a Tyler Teagarden. If you remember that old Al Jazeera story, he just, he admitted to it behind for the show, and he didn't do dick in baseball. So um, So just catching up here. I didn't know that. That is true. Yeah. So we know Pete Bet as a manager, but I just think it's probable, but we have no way of knowing. And well, yeah, I do live here in Philadelphia. Um, and I bleed Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Union, and I'm not getting the wish that I want right now with the baseball game here with Milwaukee up 2-0 in the top of the eighth. More than anything else, I wanted like a 25 inning game. I wanted total chaos where they play to like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, but it looks like it's not going to happen. Um, okay, thank you for joining me, man. And yeah, my condolences to the family, and hope everything turns out okay with everybody. Um, because I know that's no fun, and hope you have a better night, and condolences to the family. So, do have a couple of things that I'm going to talk about here, and it's our typical stories here, and just like with Voltaire there. Well, he's Voltaire on Twitch. That's why I call him Voltaire. But um, you know, if you're a person that likes to be active in chat, feel free to chime in. It's a fun little um, fun little show and site and everything that I'm trying to create more and more and grow more and more, especially with the Bleacher Brothers radio network coming live next month. So, and yes, I do also know that I have to fix this because we are now live on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. and and it's also October, so and yeah, it is October 3rd. A couple of people were posting that today was October 3rd. I don't know what movie that's from. Some pop culture references I get, and I create my own pop culture references, and then there's pop culture references like that. I'm like, I just, you don't know, I don't know what it is, but I just say, whatever. But, um, so Milwaukee got out of the top of the eighth there. They're up 2-0 going into the bottom of the eighth. And Milwaukee will look to close things out in the top of the ninth there, up 2-0. So let's get to it here tonight. And I don't really have one story that is over and above a top story right now. So, you know, if I miss something, then so be it. But it was a quiet day in sports today for the most part, at least to me, because of the fact that um, we did have the um, um, we did have three of the four playoff series end last night. Braves ended up losing last night, 5-4. And one thing I will say about the Braves is even though they got the 5 seed for winning the season series, and they both ended up tied with the they ended up tied with the Mets. In a way, even though the Mets are probably going to lose and make this point null and void, even though the Braves don't really have an excuse, they did draw the short straw here because of the fact that you play two pressure packed games. The first game was batshit crazy. The second game was more under control, but it was like no score for like the first 4 or 5 innings, whatever it was. So before you know it, it was 1-0 and then 3-0. But it wasn't an easy game considering the Mets benched a lot of their players because they were getting ready for Tuesday night. But you know, the Brewers had an easier flight for the most part, having to only go back to back to Milwaukee, whereas Atlanta has to go west all the way to the West Coast to take on San Diego. You know, but San Diego, um, they will be playing the Dodgers in the next round. It looks like it's going to be the Phillies and the Brewers, a rematch of the 2008 divisional series. We know what happened in that series, and we know what happened at the end of 2008. Uh, I think you remember some guy named Chase Utley 2 days after they won the World Series. I believe he said something like this.
World champions. World fucking champions.
So yeah, so we'll have a rematch from 2008 most likely in the second round, and truthfully for the Phillies, um, I think this is a better matchup for them, even though the Brewers have the pitching that can rival the Phillies. Um, I just think that in a way, if you think about it, and we are in year three of this playoff format. Now, you can kind of morph the 2020 results in because of the fact that that playoff season led to this format of the wild card round being a best of three. But you do have, um, but you do, but in the National League, if the Brewers hold on here, it'll be the first NLDS matchup since this format took place 2 years ago, where two teams in the same division are not meeting in one of these matchups. Because in 2022 and 2023, the Phillies faced the Braves. In 2022, the Dodgers faced San Diego, which would be a rematch of that series. And in 2023, it was Arizona who swept the Dodgers. So, little, I'm not an X's and O's guy. I'm like thinking of some other things as well. Some things that make sense, some things that don't. But then again, it's me, and I don't always give you the X's and O's or the most sensible things, but sometimes those things do come out true. So it just happens that way, and sometimes I get lucky. But I did see one thing here, and and I'm adding on to the stuff here as we're talking some baseball here, and I don't know how you guys feel about this. Let me see if I can pull this up without my browser going batshit crazy. Let's see. Anyways, it's not coming up, um, but the one thing is, um, actually, I can pull it up on here, but I won't be able to share my screen with this if I can get it to come up. But what the Padres did, and this is something that has been happening more and more in sports, and one of the first ones to do this was um, the Washington Nationals, because they didn't want the Phillies to invade Citizens Bank Park South, aka Nationals Park. So they restricted those that would buy tickets for the Nationals game, and that was for the regular season. So since you got a rivalry, you have um, the Dodgers and the Padres playing, and whoops, oh no, it's not the one. Okay, I thought I closed out the wrong tab here, but I didn't. And this is finally coming up here. And what they did was they stopped Dodgers fans by geographic location from buying tickets from their main source. So, and if I can get this up, I can read this here. I might have to pull it up on my phone here. Damn it. All right. We got to do it this way, people. All right. So let's do it this way. Let's turn off Wi Fi on my phone. Um, and I do apologize because this is some awesome podcasting and streaming here. Um, okay, here it is. I got it from Front Office Sports. I saw it from somebody else earlier in the day. I just didn't share it the first time I saw it, but that may help a little bit. But this is from, I got it from Front Office Sports. Actually, Front Office Sports was a capture from a Facebook page called Baseballer. So whoever was first to mention this, that's cool. But um, but they said that an important event info, and this is it looks like it's the initial way that you get tickets for a game because you have the primary market, the secondary market. Petco Park is located in San Diego. No shit. Sales this event will be restricted to residents of San Diego County, Southern Orange County, Western Arizona, Las Vegas, and the surrounding area, and all of Baja California, which is a Mexican state. Residency will be based on credit card billing address. Orders by residents outside San Diego County, Southern Orange County, Western Arizona, Las Vegas, and the surrounding area, and all Baja County will be canceled without notice and refunds given. And that is for the series against the LA Dodgers. So they're limiting the tickets, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure you're still going to see Dodgers fans there because they're going to be able to go into the secondary market. They're going to have to pay even more than what they would through the primary market here. And, they're still going to be able to get in that way. But the thing is, the primary market, they're not going to be able to do it that way. Um, so you do have that. So, and thankfully, I did not have the under in this game because Tampa Bay and Atlanta have scored 40 points in the first half. The over-under was 43.5. So, but now, if they want to do that, then go right ahead. I don't care. Um, if that means that they need to have that home field advantage, then so be it. But also you could also say it's a security thing as well because there's going to be fights and you're going to see it on YouTube. You're going to see it on X. You're going to see it here, there, and everywhere. It's going to happen, and you know. But I just it's just the way things are now. So, but you do have that. So also, um, so you do have that, and hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see a good series there again this year, and hopefully, we do get to see whoever it is lose to the Phillies because that's my team. So deal with it. Um, so, so I'm just checking on my phone here, just checking on things here. So that's the one thing here. Now, also, I did see one other thing here. And I saw this on Instagram right before the show started. Let me try one more time here, see if I can get this up and loaded. because I'm using a shit ton of data right now. And I have breaking news here. Breaking good news, not breaking bad news. Um, Let me go here to my stuff. Um, of course, nothing's going right for me tonight, but hopefully we'll lose one of these games here. Um, but anyways, I was hoping to show you the graphic here, and this is from Healthy. Let me try it again. From uh, I got it from Crossing Broad, but it's from Hannah Kaiser with Front Office Sports. She is also on MLB Network, Philly girl who now lives in New York. Um, MLB has fined Bryce Harper for wearing Wawa cleats. So, um, and according to Crossing Broad here, he also sported plenty of one-offs, including a holographic pair of shoes for the London series and a number theme and another theme for Philly iconic convenience store Wawa with a matching headband. He stopped wearing the headband because Major League Baseball fined him for improper advertising. Obviously, I understand why, but I also think the kids love it. So, but also he makes a shit ton of money. He can get away with that stuff too. Uh, but he Harper's all in on Philly, as you can tell, and I was just like, you know what, you know, it kind of like the line from Major League Two. It's amazing what a change of uniform does for a guy, and then Bob Uecker covers the mic and says he's still a dick. Well, he may still be a dick, but he's our dick now. So he is one of us now, and he has really bought into the Philly way and everything, and so good for him. Um, but that was an interesting thing I saw that I wish I could share, but my browser's being a pain in the ass tonight. So what else is new? If it ain't one thing, it's three others. So on to the news that I planned to mention here. Antonio Pierce got a show cause order from the NCAA today. This stemmed from um, um, violations at Arizona State when he was the assistant coach there under Herm Edwards. Herm is in you play to win the game. He gets a 8-year show cause order because violations that occurred when he was an assistant coach at Arizona State. So um, now, most of the violations were related to what the NCAA referred to as a scheme orchestrated by Pierce to circumvent restrictions in place during the COVID-19 pandemic. And thankfully, it's somebody other than Michigan because, now we don't hear how everybody was going after Michigan. But Pierce facilitated impermissible recruiting contact with 35 prospects, including tryouts, football facility tours, and entertainment. It was also determined he directed an assistant to engage in tampering with a player enrolled at another school and traveled out of state to observe and meet with prospects during a recruiting dead period. Now, some of the rules are no-nos no matter what they are. But in some regards, you do have um, some of these rules that were illegal then were violations then that may not be violations now, but you have to come up with the violation. You have to come up with the findings of your thing, no matter what it is. But he did violate some of the rules there, and he got caught. So, according to the report from the NCAA, the 8-year show cause order. In arriving at this order, the panel emphasized his role as a ringleader in orchestrating the recruiting violation. So there was a lot that went on here, and He definitely got caught. And in the event Pierce is hired by an NCAA school during the show cause order, which runs until October 2nd, 2032, he would be suspended for the first football season and would be allowed no contact with any of the program's coaches or players during that period. Now, who knows? He may never make it back to college because he may be a guy that succeeds in the NFL. I mean, he did have a good second half of the year. It's just that got a little bit of a slow start this year. But I think with him as a head coach, you got to have growing pains. You got good weeks and bad weeks, and I think as long as he, as long as his team doesn't completely shit the bed like they did um, earlier in the year last year, you gotta stick with him. And I think also with the Raiders, you don't want to be paying too many coaches at the same time because of the fact that you do have all these coaches that end up leaving and that end up getting fired, and you still have to pay them unless you can fire them with cause, which they tried to do with Lane Kiffin many years ago when Al Davis was still alive, and he had that goofy ass 3 hour press conference. But um, so according to the report, Pierce uses violation of authority to pressure staff members into engaging in violations, often instilling fear that they would lose their jobs if they did not follow his orders. Ugh. Now, this is, you try to hide as much as you can, but, things are going to end up in your face. Um, so there's also a 5-year show cause order for former ASU football analyst Anthony Garnett, who participated in the violations. He also faces a one season suspension if hired during the next 5 years. In the report, there are several mentions of former booster Regina Jackson. I know you're saying, who the hell is that? Well, she's the mother of former Arizona State and current Washington Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, who assisted with setting up impermissible campus visits and other violations. But as we know, he transferred from ASU to LSU, won the Heisman Trophy, ended up being number 2 pick, drafted by Washington. So in April, ASU was punished with 4 years of probation, an undisclosed fine, vacated games in which ineligible players competed, reduced scholarships, and recruiting restrictions. So they got hit pretty hard, and um, and um, so Edwards was fired 3 games into the 2022 season. He was found to have committed a responsibility violation according to the NCAA in April. And the Mets just take a 3-2 lead here as the most punchable face in baseball, Pete Alonso, went oppo boppo there. And I actually have the Mets tonight on a money line bet on FanDuel right now. So, uh, and just typical Mets shit that come out of nowhere. They played like shit last night, and they find a way to take the lead here in the 9th inning. So now I just hope Milwaukee gets a run back because then they can play extra innings the original way that you played extra innings. And who knows, maybe you get to play 15, 20, 25 innings. You get stressed the fuck out, and then you have to fly to Philly at like the next morning. And the next thing you know, you're totally gassed for Saturday afternoon. But Mets take a 3-2 lead there in shocking fashion there. Um, and also the Raiders, because Pierce is their property now. They had no comment. But we'll see what happens there, and looks like we could have a rematch of the London series on Saturday. So, um, um, oh yeah, the breaking news here, which is good breaking news if you're a fan of the Savannah Bananas. The Savannah Bananas are coming back to Philly. Um, they're making their way. They announced on their X, the Sav Bananas. The bananas are coming. The bananas are coming. That's right. We're making our way back to Boston, Philly for more banana ball fun. Um, Actually, the bananas will be in Philly for 2 days, the 26th and 27th. Uh, the team whose goal is to have fun and entertain audiences is also going to be in Boston and Savannah, Georgia before their Philly trip. So um, you have to sign up for Banana Ball ticket lottery list for your chance to see the fun in person. And they give you a link on the NBC 10 site where I got the alert. So the Savannah Bananas are coming back to Philly and they're going to Boston. And I'm sure they'll announce more dates as the season goes. But um, so that's the breaking news. But it's not that breaking, but it's not as breaking as the most punchable face in baseball hitting a 3-run homer there in the ninth inning. But it is what it is. So, Rockin' Reese, how are you doing, man? Hope you're having a good night out there. Just kicking back and got too many screens going on right now. I'm not in my normal computer spot tonight, so you don't see the pillow and the bobbleheads and the stuff that I have behind there. Um, all because there's too much stuff going on. We got the football game on. I got that on my iPad. I'm streaming off of my laptop, and I got the baseball game streaming because um, my box is too slow. So I'm streaming it on the ESPN Plus app and all that stuff. So I hope you're doing well out there. And, long time no see, man. I know I seen your posts on Facebook and everything. And, I try to catch your shows. It's just work gets in the way of a lot of things that I've been doing. But, definitely have to catch up on your shows and everything like that. So Rocket Reese is a good person. And, give him a follow everywhere. Um, you know, and the one thing I will tell you is, I don't care if you're, I don't care if you're not associated with Bleacher Brothers, and I've proven that already. I am friends with Action Lads, which is another sports group that I watch show their streams on. Uh, I ended up watching that show last night because my EV Mux went down. So one thing I will say is, as long as you're good people, you're going to get promoted by me. My friend SJ, who may be here watching and lurking, and you know, based on what she told me today, just lurk, okay? If I need you to mod on Twitch, then do it. But in terms of whatever you're doing, relax, okay? I'm not going to give details unless you come in here and I have a sound drop ready to go. But but considering it's me, it's going to be something that you'll get a laugh out of. But Rock and Reese, he's good people. He is part of us with Bleacher Brothers, and he's good people. So, um, and I believe his shows are on No Filter, or did you move away from there? That I mean, I could look it up. It's just that you know the download takes forever with this. So, um, matter of fact, I can check it on my phone here. Um, yeah, he's still on No Filter. Okay, yeah, he's got a show. Um, yeah, he's still on No Filter, nofilter.net. His next show is on Sunday at 10:25 a.m. So, um, yes, he's still on No Filter. He's also moving to EV Mux as well, and you know, and I'm not bashing EV Mux, just for those that may be straggling in and are wondering where's the video from last night or why does it cut off at 45 minutes or anything like that. The gremlins popped up, it happens no matter what you're doing, especially if you're streaming from home like we do with Bleacher Brothers. So, um, it happens. So, but I really like EV Mux because I can highlight things like this and just highlight things and certain things like that, and also it also combines all the different feeds at once because I had my personal X account. I had replies to that, and I was posting that. So that's a great thing here. Is you can do all kinds of things there, and Milwaukee is falling apart here. They gave up another run here on an opposite field single by Sterling Marte. Uh, Jesse Winker was so excited they scored a run they broke his helmet, and it's 4-2 right now in the top of the ninth. And let me see here. I just want to check one thing here because might be a good night for yours truly because even though I did not use the um, even though I did not use the Rebet app, which we'll talk about later. I got the Mets on the money line plus 108. I got Tampa Bay on the money line at plus 116. So looking good so far. Well, that was looking like a loss. Now it's going to possibly be a win. So might be getting some money going back into my FanDuel account. And he said Winker, folks, not that other W word. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I know from working in customer service, especially at Redacted Company, I've been there for 25 years. So I know that I talk funny. I know that people just don't understand me, and that's fine. It's just how you react that some people react that really piss me off from time to time. You know, that's the thing with us at Bleacher Brothers. We joke around with each other all the time, and I was joking around with a couple different things on the main Bleacher Brothers show last night, and I was trying to keep track of all the picks in the with Defoe's show that he has with us here at Bleacher Brothers. Um, and I watched that today while I was working. Tried to get some notes down. After the show, I'm going to have to double check those notes here because I am in a couple of handicapping contests, and I had a horrible start in the two handicapping contests I'm in. So think of it as the um, poor man's Super Bowl contest. So, and one pitch and the top of the ninth is over. Why are you swinging at a first pitch? I don't know. But Mets are going to try to clinch the series here as they're up 4-2, which in a way was a bit surprising the way that they and City Field has not been that Queens has not been that excited. Well, I can't say when because I can't think of anything funny to say. Like, for example, if this was like Cincinnati, I could say, since they found out that their brother and sister in Kentucky was found to not be pregnant or not their father or something, something like that. But I don't know, I just couldn't think of a good joke, and no, I don't have it on here yet. Damn it! Oh no, I can replace it here. Hold on. Where's it at? Here it is. There we go. Since I couldn't come up with a good punchline there for my New York joke. it happens. But anyways, Rashi Rice was placed on IR today. Um, so Joe, did the Queen visit Queens? Which Queen? The band? Well, even though they're not together anymore. I mean, they're together, but they're not how we remember them. Queen Elizabeth, maybe her ashes made it here. Uh, Freddie Mercury, nah, maybe Freddie Mercury's ashes. I don't know. And Rock and Reese says Mets haven't been this excited since Carrie Hefferman lived there. Yeah, thank you. Rock and Reese saved my ass there with a reference there from Sex and the City. So, and that is Sex and the City, right? And if I'm wrong, I have to give myself another one of those. But you know, but you know, but Rashi Rice is going on the IR, and he's going to be out for at least the next 4 games. It's still possible he could be out for the year because there was so much swelling in his knee that they couldn't determine if it was an ACL tear or not. And maybe they're trying to play around with things. King of Queens. Okay. So I know it was a TV show. I just had the wrong network, and all right. Since I was wrong, it happens. So so Rice was hurt Sunday when quarterback Patrick Mahomes collided with his knee as Rice, Mahomes, and other players were chasing a Chargers fumble that followed an interception. Um, Andy Reid had ruled out Rice for Monday night's game against the Saints, obviously. Kansas City won't know more about the extent of the injury until next week. Rice was waiting for the swelling to be reduced for his injured knee before going further testing. Um, Andy Reid said, injuries, we're really hoping that things work out for the best, but let's just see where it goes and leave it to the doctors to see. Time's yours. Had to do that because that's a flashback for me and Mike and everything that we joked around when we were working together. Um, Rashi has had a phenomenal year. Unfortunately, in this league, injuries happen and life goes on. Blah blah blah. Now, in return, in a follow up, in a second story that I see here, um, Patrick Mahomes felt bad about the injury because it's a friendly fire type thing where he crashed into his own player's knees. Uh, Speaking to reporters on Thursday, Mahomes was asked if he had any concern that he possibly suffered an injury of his own. He said, "No, I didn't notice in the moment. I was more worried about trying to get the ball. I was just trying to make a play. It happens when you make tackles." And he added they felt guilty after seeing the replay. He said, "I felt like shit when I hit Rashi. I think that's pretty much all. I mean, I wasn't really worried about myself. I was worried about hopefully his injury, and hopefully it wasn't as bad as it looked because I was the one that hit him." And, I think you would feel guilty about hitting somebody like that right on the knees, especially, I mean, even if you're the opposing team, because, you're taking away a guy's livelihood. Even though he's still getting paid, it's just he can't do what he wants to do as a professional and play football. But these injuries do happen, whether they're friendly fire or opponent on opponent injury. But um, there's no long term timeline that has emerged as of yet for the Chiefs wideout, who will undergo further testing to determine the full severity of the injury. And the Mets have advanced to take on the Phillies. Uh, that is a 4-2 final. I missed the final play there because I was looking at my article here. Was it a double play that ended the game? But looks like I'm going to have one more Philly Fade pick for you guys tonight because that will be coming up at the end of the show, like I always do on Thursday nights here. I give you a couple of games and go from there. So that will be coming up if it's up on DraftKings by the time I get there, if I can get the DraftKings page up and running. So actually, I know a way that I can do it, but with that, um, if I had the if I had taps, I would play taps for the Milwaukee Brewers. But and this concludes another interesting category and another interesting stat for the Philadelphia Phillies because the Phillies are the only team in the major leagues with the current divisional format. So I have to preface that as well. The Phillies have played every team in the AL East in the World Series. They've played every team in the NL West in the playoffs. And now, when they play the Mets on Saturday, they will have played every opponent in the National League East. Now, granted, you'll give me a technicality. They've never played the Washington Nationals, but I will give you a technicality back and tell you that in 1981, in that strike-shortened season, the Phillies took on the Montreal Expos, who were the predecessors of the Washington Nationals. So, little fun factaroo there. And if you're looking for a free beer, you're welcome. So, and then on to drinks and alcohol and things like that. Um, I saw this. I saw this. I don't know if it was on. I don't know if it was on. Um, well, I'll get to that in a second here. So, Mike says this is the first time. I think this is the first time the Mets and Phillies will play in the playoffs. It is the first time. It's just that before 1994, you it was only one team from each division that got in, and then once you got the wild card, there was a possibility that the two teams met. Um, and you know, because the Phillies have played the Braves three different times. They played them once when they were the AL West champion, NL West champions, and they played them the last 2 years when the Phillies were a wild card. They played the Marlins in 2023. They played the Nationals when they were the Expos in '81, and now the Mets. So just some useless information I have in my head that Mike says, "Oh Jesus Christ, here we go again." But that's but that but this is the first time these teams will meet. Um, and it's just after they had all these. Um, Mike says, "Let me get a beer." No, you're not allowed to drink, Mike. Uh, but a lot of crazy stuff going on, and I can now change some things up here. I can take this off as all four. Well, three of the 4 teams had home field advantage lost, not all 4. I can get rid of this. Then I can move this over to here. And I'm shuffling on the fly here, people. Damn it. Now I gotta update the app here. The fuck. I'm just trying to set things up here for you guys so I can keep track of different things here. So I did have the Mets tonight, and I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I probably should have played as a parlay, but I didn't. So there we go. Now I can operate. Go into the stream manager here. I'm muted there. Good. Now we're all set. And if I see anybody that needs to be blocked or banned on Twitch, I can do that. So, but going back to the story about the spilled drink, Chase Brown, the running back for the Bengals, he had a drink spilled on him as he was going into the tunnel on Sunday, um, and apparently they did an investigation, and the incident involving a fan was deemed an accident. So thankfully, it wasn't anything that was really, um, um, nothing with any malice where a fan could have gotten banned from uh, the stadium there in Charlotte. Um, the incident occurred after last Sunday's game at Bank of America Stadium. Bengals were walking off the field. A fan appeared to pour a drink on Brown as he exited the field and entered the tunnel. Video of the incident was posted on social media, and the league and the Players Association announced that they were looking into the matter. Now, if I remember seeing the video, because I saw it in passing, because I had I had the Eagles game over here on my TV on the ground here that you see when I'm in my normal spot, and I had Red Zone here, and I don't know which TV I saw it on, but I saw it, but it seemed like it seemed like it seemed like Chase Brown was like, yeah, I've had worse happen in the past. This having a drink spilled on me is nothing. So I didn't see any reaction. Now I may be wrong, but I was working and I had two different screens going on at the same time, even though I was paying attention to my calls. So, um, so what the NFL did was they reviewed multiple cameras, security cameras, in the video. They concluded the drink wasn't maliciously poured on Brown. Um, Apparently what happened was he threw gloves up to a fan, and probably the fan um, the fan lost their drink in the excitement of trying to get the gloves or whatever else he was drawing. So that's what happened there. Um, Now, if it was a malicious act, it could have been subject to punishment, including a potential lifetime ban from the stadium. Brown said today he was happy that someone didn't purposely pour a drink on him after a career day. The second-year player out of Illinois scored his first two rushing touchdowns since the Bengals drafted him in the fifth round last year. He said, It would suck if people are doing stuff with intent. Honestly, happier it's a Bengals fan too. I'm just glad they got their gloves at the end of the day, but they didn't get to finish their drink. And I know that I'm a type of person where if I was drinking alcohol or anything like that, I would have been yelling down, "Didn't mean it," or something like that. I mean, but you can tell if there's intent. And one where there was specific intent was back in 2009. I was at Wrigley Field for the Phillies and the Cubs, and a fan dumped the beer right on Shane Victorino as he was catching a fly ball toward the bleachers and the net the netting that they have there. So, and you could tell right away that had intent, whereas sometimes you don't have intent like this apparently wasn't. So thankfully there was no intent. Fans not getting banned. Everything's good in the end. So now, one more story here before we get into the football picks here. And this was a story that I was going to mention last night before the Gremlins hit. So, and if the Mexican Gremlins can stay away while I can tell this story, I would appreciate it. But the Dodgers announced the other day that Fernando Valenzuela, a franchise icon since his legendary 1981 rookie season, stepped away from his role as a Spanish language radio broadcaster for the remainder of the postseason to focus on his health, and he aims to return for the 2025 season. I've seen pictures of him lately, and we don't know what's going on, and hopefully it's not serious, but he looked like shit. I mean, he looked like he was about 100 pounds lighter than his playing days. But hopefully it's not anything too serious, and hopefully he's back next year. But it is pretty. It was um, pretty scary what I was seeing on the pictures there. So, um, and let's see here. Um, damn it. Okay, so I have to go on there in a little bit. Okay, so so we know now the Dodgers are going to be playing San Diego. Uh, Valenzuela has been part of the Dodgers broadcast team since 2003, which was 6 years after his playing days ended and 14 years after he threw his last pitch for the Dodgers. Uh, he's Mexican born. He made his major league debut as a 19-year-old reliever in 1980 before bursting on the scene with a historic strike shortened 81 season. Um, Now, he was unceremoniously released by the Dodgers in 1991, days before the season started. Now, he pitched for 5 teams over the next 7 years, including the Phillies, if you remember, Mike. Um, and just like the Phillies, the Dodgers have a tradition of only retiring Hall of Famers numbers. But they did retire Valenzuela's 34 before a pregame ceremony at Dodger Stadium in August of 23. The number had been unofficially retired, never worn by another player since Valenzuela had been let go by the team 32 years earlier. So, but they did do the right thing, and you know, and uh, and Mike remembers Fernando Valenzuela pitching for the Phillies for part of a year. Um, but a lot of, but the one thing I do, you hope he's fine by next year. I'm not an evil person like that. You know, but you do have but you do have that going on, and you hope he's okay in the long run. Hopefully, he has a long life ahead of him. But with everybody dying recently, you hope that's the last thing that happens. So, but he's hopefully he's okay. So, Um, and Mike, I'm not sure if you saw if you heard my breaking news. I don't know if you were lurking or you just came in late. The Savannah Bananas are returning to Philly next year, and they have 2 nights here in July next year. So hopefully, knock on wood, it'll be a weekend that I'm off because I think I'm going to enter the lottery this year. Hopefully, I can get in there and get lucky, enjoy something different in terms of baseball. You know, but that was breaking news that occurred that was Philly related. So let me see here. I'm going to get my DraftKings up here. And this comes up no problem, shockingly. Um, and okay, so going to have to investigate the baseball one I want to do here, but we'll see that in a second here. So um, let me share my screen here because Mike says you can go to the market to get bananas. Well, also the longshoreman strike has been put on hold till January as well. So You won't be hearing from the produce guy. Yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today. And there's a pool for you. Um, but anyways, let's get to this here. And you know that the Philly Fade is something I do every Thursday night. And I probably would have did a pick on this game, which thankfully I did not. Thankfully we had problems because guess what? I probably would have told you to play under 43 and a half, and they scored 41 points in the first half. So, you know, everybody that played the under tonight. So, anyways, let's get to the Philly Fade here, and I'm going to adjust my screen accordingly in a second. And also, if you don't hear if my if my voice disappears, let me know. I'll fix things up here for you. But um, I'll adjust my screen a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's go first to tomorrow night. And first game I'm going to look at is UNLV Syracuse. And UNLV's 4-0. They're ranked for the first time in program history. And on top of that, um, the one thing I would say is they have had quarterback issues since the one quarterback got their panties in a bunch and said, "You didn't pay me my NIL money. I'm leaving." Whatever. Goodbye. But what he was doing was illegal to the NCAA and the state of Nevada. But UNLV comes in there. They're favored there. They're taking on Syracuse. Syracuse comes in, as I need multiple tabs here. UNLV comes in 4-1. Syracuse comes in 3-1. The only loss that Syracuse had was an upset loss to Stanford. They did win at Georgia Tech after they had played Florida State, but Florida State that team's in shambles. But they get to play a Friday night game in Vegas, and this is on FS1. And I am going to go. Let me just see one thing here. See if they give me some additional information here. So it's not giving me what I wanted. But anyways, I am going to take Syracuse in an upset here. So I'm not even going to take the 6.5 points. I'm going to take the money line here. I am going balls to the wall here, taking Syracuse at plus 200 to win this game over UNLV outright. And that's my first pick here tonight. Syracuse on the money line plus 200. And if this adjusts between now and then, we'll go with the final price as well. And forgive me. All right, here's another good one here. Indiana takes on Northwestern at their makeshift field on campus because they're rebuilding Ryan Stadium. Indiana's ranked for the first time in a long time. And Northwestern, their team is garbage, plain simple. And we're going to take Indiana here, minus 13.5 at minus 112. I think Indiana will win big there. Alabama takes on Vanderbilt, the number one team in the country. And if there's a team that does not have a letdown, a school that does not have a letdown, especially after a big win like that, it is Alabama. And even though you have the new coach, it's just the whole culture thing in Alabama ever since Saban got there. But I think Alabama is going to destroy Vanderbilt. Give the 22.5 at -110. They'll probably win by 30 or 40 there. So we'll go with that. Just looking here, I know I'm probably making a seasick in the process, but okay, one last game here. James Madison plays Louisiana Monroe. We saw what they did to North Carolina, and I am not going to take the point spread here. I'm going to tell you to go over 48 here. If they're going to score a shit ton of points, then I want to be on the over here. So we'll take James Madison on the we'll take James Madison ULM over 48. So I'm just trying to do something here. So my 4 picks, as you'll see on the right-hand side here, Syracuse money line plus 200, Indiana minus 13.5 at minus 112, Alabama minus 22.5, and James Madison, Louisiana Monroe minus 112. And let me do this. And if you are daring enough, the 14 parlay is plus 1952 right now. And one thing I will tell you ahead of time, play within your means, 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a gambling problem. And also, there is no shame in betting $5 as opposed to these numbers in green being based on $100. Everything gets prorated up or down depending on what you wager. And I'm not going, even with me, I'm not going to shame you if it's a $5 wager unless your name is Mike. I'm only kidding, Mike. Nah, you know, I'm not going to shame you, but I may shame you, and Mike knows about this, if somebody we know shares a bet that they won, but they're teasing the shit out of the point spread where you're getting you're paying like a 70% vig, or you're that, and you're not showing what your parlay was, what your parlay odds were, or anything like that. You just give me a portion of the screen capture. That's when I shame you. But if it's just a $5 wager, I'll say, hey, cool. You got a little extra money this week. Not everybody feels confident with, like, for example, me. My base wager is $25. If your base wager is 5, then that's fine. If it's 10, that's fine. If you are crazy enough to do 50 or 100 or a couple hundred, hey, if you can still pay your bills, then do it. But I'm always going to tell you, bet within your means. And like, for example, I can tell you, we go on to the pro picks here. Just to remind you, well, not that one, this one. Saturday, another edition of Also Eligible on the Bleacher Brothers Network. We will be starting at 10 a.m. I may be flying solo this week. I'm not sure yet. I put a text out to somebody, and if he joins me, then great. If not, I can be more creative with some of the things I like to do when I'm alone. But we're going to be looking at Keeneland. Their October meet starts tomorrow. We're going to be looking at 5 graded stakes races, and we'll see if we can get a couple of winners home. Didn't get the winner home yesterday, or today, I mean, but we did get a winner home yesterday, but it got bet down to 1 to 2 odds. But what can you do when I make these picks so far in advance? But yeah, so that'll be on Saturday, and we'll get into Rebet in a second here. So let's go back here to the NFL side. And forgive me for a second because I have a Thursday night tradition with my friends with SJ's Discord. And I'm going to be creating my own Discord in the next couple of weeks. And I think what I'm going to do is, if anybody on Bleacher Brothers wants to use my Discord, one thing I'll say is, I will give you your own section and stuff like that. So let me do this. Those are my college picks. And then we go to the National Football League. There's one. Okay, so here we go. So let's switch off to all right. So we are back. I had an internet crash there. There we go. Now we got everything up and running here. So we had a quick internet crash there. I do apologize for that. Just a reminder, we do have bye weeks this week. So if you are in fantasy football like I am with one, two, three, four, five, six different leagues, one league I got hit hard with the bye week, but I'll gladly take a loss this week to have other people suffer with buys later on. But but we do have bye weeks this week, and we also have a game in jolly old England. So you know, also if you play fantasy football, make sure you have those bets in early, and also if you're a fan of the Jets or the Vikings, you know that you got to get up extra early for that football game. Me, I might be up. But anyways, first game I'm looking at is Washington and Cleveland, and Cleveland comes to Lincoln Financial Field next week, and I am setting a goal next week that I get blocked by the Cleveland Browns Twitter, and Mike knows exactly what picture I am going to associate with Deshaun Watson because of his fondness of all those massages that he would get and him getting into trouble. So, of course, I'm going to see what I can do with that. But they go to Washington first this week, and um, you know, and Mike does know what I mean there. Um, uh, Wait a second. Even SJ's getting involved here. First of all, she says hello, and I have something to say to her in return.
Thank.
I heard that you were feeling ill. Headache,
fever, and a chill. I came to help restore your pluck, 'cause I'm the nurse who likes to...
I'm catching up on chat here, people, so I had to play that. So, um, and I wonder now, are you shaking your head like Michael J. Fox or Brett Favre there? Nah, seriously, I shouldn't make fun of that shit, but Mike understands my sick point of view, and I had to play that because SJ is a little under the weather. I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm sure she would do something like that to me as well, even though she would say get better, blah blah blah, the whole deal. But so SJ's picks so far, and I'm going to write these down here, and SJ's laughing at me. Um, so I have to write these down here because we may end up going head to head. We may not even be talking these games. Who knows? Because I am doing this on the fly. And last week I went 3-1 on the pros, and I went 0-3 in college. And SJ, you will see my college picks unless you were lurking for the last 10 minutes. You will see those college picks on your Discord in a few minutes. So she goes Buffalo -1. Okay. And so far, wait, what was the other one here? Cincy +2.5. All right, I'll show the odds, okay? There, you happy now? And I will zoom this a little bit more, don't worry. So the first game I'm looking at is the Commanders and the Browns. And I just think Cleveland is a dog shit team with Deshaun Watson at the helm. And, their whole team is dog shit because you're going to go from him to Jameis Winston. Let's see. She says I would say Bills money line, but odds are worse. We'll get to that because I think that'll be a lesson I can go on with some of the things that I look at here. Um, but I'm going to go with the Commandos here, -3.5. Right now, even though you're on the wrong side of that extra half a point here, because some people will wait for that to potentially go down to 3. Or the one thing you can do is you can go on here on DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever. You can play around with this line if you really wanted to. So, if you can find it on here, wherever it is, you can go here. Game lines. If you wanted a 3, you'll pay a 19% vig there. So you may. So if you wanted it -3 and keep it under a field goal, then you may want to do that right now. But I think Washington wins by at least 10 here. I think Cleveland is god awful, and Commanders. I think they're going to win at minus. I think they're going to win by at least 10. So that 3.5 doesn't bother me. And also, I like the fact that the vig it's at -102 right now, which means I'm only giving 2% 2% of my wager to the house. Um, so some of the things I look for, and some people, um, yeah, and she had Bucks money line, so did I. And if you saw my bets on um, Juice Reel, if you saw my picks on Juice Reel tonight, I had the Mets money line too. I should have parlayed it, but I was just um, But I was just like, I don't have enough money to do all three wagers, so I did those two, and I had the Mets winning tonight. And and if a wager comes up that's baseball related that I want to play, that's Phillies related, I will play it if it's up on DraftKings as of yet. So, but SJ has Bucks money line. I have Bucks money line. I probably would have gave you Bucks money line if Evie Mux didn't crash last night. But that's an Evie Mux issue, not a internet issue. But so I'm going with the Commandos. Um, this is what SJ was talking about here. Buffalo's a 1 point favorite, but they're minus 115 on the money line. Now, what I would tell you is if you are looking to play this game and you love Houston, now, first of all, you know, Buffalo's going to bounce back after getting blown out in Baltimore. And I agree with SJ, and I'll make that a pick here as well. Hopefully, I don't jinx the shit out of her. But if you're going to play Houston, this +1's a sucker bet. Because if Buffalo wins by 1, you're just getting your money back. You're not winning. But but the thing is, you're going if Houston wins this wager, they win the game. So why give the book 10% of your money when you give only 5% of it to the house? So, little things that you learn from things like me that, because sometimes I am a cheapskate, sometimes I look at the numbers, I know what they mean. So I agree with SJ that this is going to be a bounce back game here. And like SJ says, I think that's more towards Tampa Bay, so free. Uh, but, but I agree with her. I like Buffalo, and we'll go with that. Um, all right. So my next game, if you're watching the NFL game tonight on Amazon Prime, or if you're watching it on Twitch, now, if you're watching on Twitch, you should be watching me instead. But anyways, the Giants are taking on the Seattle Seahawks. And on Thursday, the Niners play Seattle. Now, the one thing I was hoping with the Eagles game last week was I was hoping the Eagles would keep it close and actually show up for the game so that they can the pound the Bucks around, because I would have been free money, Atlanta, whatever. But the Eagles couldn't do squat in the first half, or most of the game for that matter. Um, I think what's going to happen here with Seattle, because you have a rookie head coach, I think they're going to be looking ahead on to Thursday night. And there's a touchdown by Mooney. That's another touchdown on one of my fantasy teams. I don't know which one on ESPN, but he's got 2 touchdowns tonight. And somebody tell Kirk Cousins that this was a 1 o'clock game on Sunday, because he's sure as hell playing like it. But anyways, and the thing is, SJ, the Giants fan that she is, now if she was born and raised in the Philadelphia area, I would say what's wrong with her, and I would report her parents to family services or whatever. But since she is up there, far enough away from me, that she won't come down here and kick my ass at 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, you know, I'm okay with her being a Giants fan because I understand why she's a Giants fan, and she's told me why, and I'm not going to get into it. I'll let her do her own stream whenever she decides to come back to streaming. But the Giants, they just couldn't get the ball in the end zone against the Cowboys. Seahawks aren't that bad of a team, but you know what? If I had some major huevos, marbles, I would take the Giants money line here, but I'm going to play it safe here. I'm going to take the Giants plus 6.5 at minus 105. If you want that extra half a point, feel free to do so to make it a 7-point line. And SJ does not agree with me. And that's a great thing here because you can disagree with me. Just don't call me an effing idiot. But, I just think that Seattle is looking ahead to the Niners. And she says Neighbors is out. Well, yeah, um, but I really think that Seattle's going to be looking ahead here. So I'm going with the Giants plus 6.5 here. Now, if Neighbors was playing this Sunday, maybe I would jump to the money line. But I just think that Seattle is going to be looking ahead to the Niners on Thursday night. So just remember that if that does happen. So, and let me see here. Yes, that's my pick. Those are my picks right now. So my 3 NFL picks. Let me just do this. I have it ready to go. I have the Commanders minus 3.5 at minus 102. I have the Buffalo Bills minus 1 at minus 110. And I had the New York Giants plus 6.5 at minus 105. If you want to buy that extra half a point to make it the 7, feel free to do so. I get the feeling the Giants might steal this game because I really think that Seattle's going to be looking ahead to Thursday night. So just remember that as we go there. So let me clear that. And let me see something here. I'm looking to see correct score. Oh, definitely. Well, oh no, that's just the first game. Damn it! I was hoping it was the series score. And you can tell this is unplanned here. I should do this just so I can get SJ pissed at me and pick the Royals, but I think the Royals are going to be like a deer in headlights. Playoff specials, no. Awards. No, it doesn't look like it's available as of yet, damn it. But what I was looking for was the correct series score. But everything is based on innings in the first game. And especially with the Philly series, playoff props. And I'm sure if I find, I'm sure I can find it on another. And by the way, you could have had Detroit on August 11th at plus 50,000. They're now down to 950. All right, so I'm not finding it. So actually, let me see one other thing here. I'm going to try FanDuel here. If I see it on FanDuel, we'll just use that one. Pennsylvania. Of course, I got to log in. Won't let me do what. MLB, Parlay Builder, NLDS, Series Exact Order. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to go with FanDuel here. So let me share this screen, this tab instead. So they're not doing it the way I had hoped, but it's still something I can use here for our wager here. And you see all the possible outcomes here. Phillies winning 3 straight. Phillies winning 1 and 2 at home. Mets winning game 3. Phillies winning game 4. Mets sweeping, no chance in hell. Phillies, Mets, Phillies, Phillies. Phillies, Mets, Mets, Mets. You see all the different options there. I think the Phillies are going to win this in 4. So what I am going to do is, for the sake of this wager, and I have a $10 wager on here that I can use this for, but I'm not going to. But my wager, since I could not find the one that I wanted, because I just wanted Phillies in 4, we're going with the Phillies winning in 4 in a Phillies winning games 1 and 2 at home, losing game 3 in New York, winning game 4 in Philly at plus 800. So that is my third and final, the third and final sport that I had there. And I had to go onto FanDuel to find something close to it. So um, Jaden Daniels looked legit. Yeah. And just to let you know, I am not picking the Royals, okay? SJ, Miss Yankees fan, who's going to be modeling my shirt probably. But that 1 in 36 chance is now a 1 in 16 chance of that World Series happening. So just to let you know. But it's just a little shit talking back and forth. So little fun thing that we're doing here, and that's basically what we do here. We just have fun here and go from there. So, um, um, uh, Yankee. Okay, yeah. I was going to make fun of table knees, but I know what you meant. So, but yeah, we're just having fun here, chilling out, watching. Um, you know, and So just to let you guys know, also we do have Rebet, who is a partner with us here at Bleacher Brothers. I went 3 for 4 yesterday on Rebet. Rebet is a social type of a sports book. It's legal in 45 to 50 states. Um, from what I understand, it is still legal in Connecticut, SJ. Um, it's a 100% match up to $100. The link is on the Bleacher Brothers page. If you're going there and you do sign up with that, let me know. I'll get a credit for it. Um, it's a fun little app. You get some different things on there. And also, if you know the movie Trading Places, I know Mike does. Now, it may be a little bit before SJ was born, but she might have watched it. She may like Eddie Murphy. Um, she may like that movie. So, and SJ will be right back because your dog's got to make a boom boom. Uh, but you get a 100% deposit match up to $100 on your first deposit when you sign up, and use the link that's in the Bleacher Brothers page. And and it's a fun little app. And also, you can make head-to-head wagers with your friends on there. So let's say Mike is on there, Rockin' Reese, if he's on there. They see that I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the money line. They say, no, I like Atlanta. Well, the one thing is we can go head to head, and Rebet is your facilitator, and you end up, and whoever wins is the winner. So, and and they will give the winner the money as soon as it's done. So it is a fun little app. It is social. It's more social than some of the other apps that are out there, and it's also fun. So if you go to Bleacher Brothers main page and you find that ad, click away. But if you're concerned that it may not be legal in your state, what I would recommend is Googling rebet.com. I Googled it first, so I wanted to make sure before I signed up. And it's a fun little app, and you can bet with your money, or you can bet with the tokens or coins as they call it, which I've been betting with since I crapped out on a $50 wager on Monday with the fucking Mets. But anyways, Rebet, fun little app there, and and if you sign up if you sign up because of me, just let me know. I will let AJ know, and I will get a commission on that, even though um, I don't ask for you to do it just because of me. Also eligible, we'll be live Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. We are going to be looking at the races from Keeneland Racecourse in Lexington, Kentucky. Going to be looking at races 6 through 10, or is it 7 through 11? They're 5 graded stakes race. You got races that have win in your in implications for the Breeders' Cup. Um, I think there's also a race that is also part of the 2025 Road to Kentucky Derby, and I still have to write that article, which I'm planning on doing this weekend. So a lot of stuff going on this weekend, and you got races all over the country this weekend, and basically around the world, because I think there's winning your in races in France this weekend as well. So a lot of stuff going on this weekend. I will have you covered for Keeneland this weekend as we get closer to the Breeders' Cup as well. So, and also, hit me up on X at Joe Quills. Uh, if you have other ways of contacting me, feel free to do so if you know what they are. I'm more than happy to help you with whatever you need help with. I am allegedly a good dude, even though SJ will doubt that after I played that clip from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But we're all we're all we're all good friends here. So um, I'm just checking here, but it's all in. We're all having fun here on this Thursday night here. So um, Darnell Mooney got me 28.8 points so far tonight in one league. Um, that's the league that I'm 4-0 in right now, and it's a 4-0 versus 4-0 matchup. Um, And my other guy, Drake London, who I have on a third team on ESPN, he's got me 22.5 points, but my opponent has 23.2 points for Mike Evans. So uh, you can tell that. Um, and and Mike says that he needs psychiatric help. Can't help you. Sorry, dude. Nah, seriously, But we joke around like that. So let me check my other ones. Um, yeah, Algier only got you 4 points, so you're in trouble. Yeah. Yeah, we're head to head in week 5 here. So, but then again, I got my 2 games out of the way with SJ because we played week 1 in the league that Mike's in, and we played week 3 in the second league. And we're 1-1. I beat her in League 1. She beat me in League 2. So, what can you say? But we're looking at a 30-27 game here with about 9 minutes left in the game here. But the matchups are set in baseball. We got the Dodgers and the Padres, the Phillies. Uh, yeah, that was pass interference. He was all over him. He was on him like white on rice. Um, so let me do this. So, I apologize for yawning there because yawning can be so damn contagious. So we have on Saturday we have Detroit and Cleveland at 1 o'clock, TBS, True TV, and Max. Phillies and the Mets will be on Big Fox at 4 o'clock. Kansas City and New York will be on TBS at 6:38. San Diego at the Dodgers at 8:38, and that is on FS1. So we'll have everybody dipping their toes in the pool now as the buys are over. And I'm going to say right now, Phillies in 4. And we may get a rematch of the 2022 championship series with where the Phillies won in 5. And I really like the Phillies' chances this year. And I personally invite SJ to the parade in November. We might have to put her in a bubble so we make sure she doesn't get sick or anything, but we will make sure that she is there at the parade in November. But just want to see if anybody has anything else to add here. Um, because Mike mentioned our fantasy matchup that I don't even look at who I play every week until like Sunday when the games start on Sunday. I'm just like, all right, well, this guy isn't doing much, and this guy's doing this, but um, I disagree, SJ, because SJ is saying I am quietly saying New York has a clear path to the World Series. I'm telling you right now, the Detroit Tigers are the 2022 Philadelphia Phillies. And the Astros and the Orioles are out, which is true. But do not sleep on those Detroit Tigers because now you're going to say, well, the Tigers didn't have the guys on the team that played in the playoffs in the past. The only guy that I know of is Matt Vierling, who was with the Phillies in 22. But I will tell you this. What they make up for inexperience on the field, they make up with AJ Hinch. And I think that helped them win that series, and I think they upset Cleveland. Um, but our chances are way higher. Yeah, you're basically a 1-5 favorite in a 4-horse race. Well, maybe 3-5, with Cleveland the obvious second choice. But you are looking at a possibility. I think they do get away with playing Kansas City because they do not reseed, and there's a blocked kick there. And Young Ho, get out of my mind. You just got your kick blocked again. But anyways, and SJ says it's going to be Dodgers, Yankees, or Phillies, Yankees. Well, I disagree. I think you got one of the NL teams right there, but I think you're sleeping on those Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions. Jesus Christ, they play across the street there. Don't sleep on the Tigers. And now that I'm saying don't sleep on the Tigers, they'll probably get swept by the Guardians. Watch. But I'm sleeping on the Mets. Philly is not sweeping them. And the Mets are better than the Tigers. But the Mets have not played here in October. They don't know what this place is like. Tigers and Mets are dark horse teams, yes. Yeah. Because the other 3 teams in the National League are who you expected. And the Brewers shit the bed. Plain and simple. But you have 2 dark horses in the American League. You got the Royals and you got the Tigers. So, but we're in the final 8 now, and we'll see who gets to the League Championship Series after this week's game starting on Saturday. And also, the American League plays Saturday, Monday. And the reason why they do that is because they would prefer to stagger these games, but they're trying to get the teams with the byes back on the field as quickly as they can. So they get all 4 teams to play on Saturday, and you give that awkward day off between games 1 and 2 so that the 2 American League games play on Monday, and then after that they have staggered schedules. So she would love a Subway series. I think you're only going to get a Subway sandwich, if you ask me. But that's just me. No, you can't count anybody out, but I think but we're not going to gang up on SJ because that wouldn't be right. But maybe we get that 1 in 36 chance that it's Phillies and Yankees again, and maybe you get to model that shirt for me. No, but seriously, it's this is what October baseball is all about, and this is something that you definitely play 162 games for, or in the case of the Mets, 165. F the Dodgers, yeah, and F the Padres too. And yes, we do like SJ. We just may not like her for about 10 days if it's Phillies and Yankees, but that's about it. And F the Mets. Well, there's something that SJ and I agree in. F the Mets. Or as I like to say, muck the Fets. Real talk. So, yeah, I mean, you got on the National League side, Fox got very lucky this year because they get two matchups that are going to draw ratings. At least you think. But with everything, with the way baseball, has fallen, their ratings have continuously gone down. But Fox got the two great matchups. You got you got a rivalry. Actually, you got two rivalries: the Mets and the Phillies, and you got the Dodgers and the Padres. Now, the one thing I would say about the Phillies is they've been on the opposite end of this wild card bye. They had the opportunity to play in the wild card while the Braves were sitting waiting for us the last 2 years. So the Phillies know what it's like to play when the other team's not playing. So I wouldn't be worried about the layoff. But um, um, let's see. Who's your team, Mike? How about you? Uh, I'm catching up here. Phillies, Mike says. Postseason games are so electric. I can tell you that from experience. There's nothing like it. And I have been to Roy Halladay's playoff no hitter. I've been to Game 5 of the 2008 World Series. So I know what playoff baseball is all about, especially when that stadium is exceptionally loud, especially at Citizens Bank Park. And I am sure somebody between and I'm sure that somebody between 3:30 and 5 p.m. on Saturday will be posting something. Um, um, well, whatever manager it was after the 2022 or coach from 2022 of either the Braves or the Padres said that playing at Citizens Bank Park in October is 4 hours of hell. So, but um, and I lost my train of thought here as well. So, um, and Tampa Bay fumbles, Bucky Irving fumbles, and Atlanta gets the ball back. So, and there's another helmet that gets bounced to the ground. Um, but the only thing I will say is if the trend continue, I mean, if the trend continues that these divisional matchups end up being what causes the top seeds to lose, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of a change, but we only have 2 years worth of data right now with the new playoff format that we have. So I wouldn't be worried about a top two seed losing, even if it is the Phillies. It's just dumb luck that all four divisional matchups in the National League have been the wild card team advancing, but all four matchups were either NL East versus NL East or NL West versus NL West. Now, last year, Baltimore lost in the divisional round, but they lost to Texas because Baltimore was a deer in headlights. Now they're just a rudderless playoff ship. Um, uh, you were talking about a post, yeah. And I think I was talking about a stripper pole too. That was a while back. What are my predictions for these series? I'm going Detroit in 4. I'm going Yankees in 4. I'm going San Diego in 5. And Phillies in 4. Yeah, Yeah, I'm going with three gentlemen sweeps there. Which one are you wowing about? The Yankees? I want to know what you're wowing about here. Let me see one thing with their schedule here. Hold on. Okay, so games 3 and 4 are still to be determined, but I think that Detroit crowd's going to be batshit crazy. First playoff game at home in like 10 years. Um, so that should be interesting to see. Um, I think I think Cleveland's going to shit the bed. I really do. Um, but you got some MLB got very lucky on the National League side because you got two bitter rivals playing each other. You do have two bitter rivals playing each other in the divisional round. I mean, that's almost as good as Yankees and Red Sox in a league championship series. National League's going to be tough, but and you got the Phillies and the Dodgers, but I got the Padres winning that series. I think that's going to be a 7-game war, 5-game war, and something strange is going to happen in that game 5 that gets the Padres over the top. And it looks like SJ we're a first down away from cashing our Tampa Bay Bucks money line wager. Tampa Bay just got an interception with a minute 44 left in the game, so they are up 3. They get the ball back. Kirk Cousins reverted back to primetime Kirk Cousins. And now I got Tampa Bay tonight, and this was just a last minute thing because I put $50 in my FanDuel yesterday. Let me do this. Let me go back on my Wi-Fi on my phone. Now you probably got better odds for Tampa Bay. Um, what I did, I got Tampa Bay at plus 116 tonight, and that was a last minute decision. Um, so what I did was I put $50 in my FanDuel because I was getting myself ready for the weekend and my races at Keeneland this weekend. And by the way, for those that are watching and are going to be watching the Also Eligible show, another reason why I picked Keeneland was the free race of the day on Daily Racing Forum's website. And also, FanDuel has WinBet insurance where if your horse finishes second, third, depending on how big the field is, you get your $5 back. So um, and SJ got it at plus 108. So, just the timing of the wager and stuff like that, because that will fluctuate from time to time. Um, so, um, yeah. So what I did was I put $50 in. I figured, all right, well, I'll play this one wager and I'll take advantage of the free the money back wager that they had for yesterday's and today's races. So I'm sitting there watching the races, and the only reason why I have the races on is because I'm keeping my computer running. I was watching the races while I was doing things around the apartment, and the post break comes up for Delaware Park, and Mike will probably say, "Why didn't you text me, you motherfucker?" Uh, because with a couple of minutes of post, I see the horses and I see the graphics, and there's a horse by the name of Quill Pen. Just a little bit off of my last name, even though I use Quills as a streamer. You know, I'm not, I'm not hiding the fact that my last name is something different. It's just that it's a branding thing that I use Joe Quills, and it's a bit of an homage to my freshman algebra teacher back in 19 where we had he made algebra fun, and he would call us all kinds of nicknames, and my nickname was Quills. So it's kind of an homage to him, and also my high school buddies call me Quills all the time. So that's the reason why I did it. But Quill Penn ran at Delaware Park. I dumped $20 to win on him, and when I put the wager in, he was like 6-7 to 1. He got bet down to 5-2. He ended up winning. I got $94 back. So then fast forward to earlier tonight or later on, I played that race, which was my QPW article, and that horse won as well, but it was only a $5 win wager. So I sucked at the getting my money back because I ended up winning that wager. Um, so yeah, so um, yeah, I forgot to text you, but you follow me on Facebook, Mike. You've seen that. You've seen me post those articles all the time. So, but in terms of the Quill Pen one, that was very last minute. But also, I believe in the jinx factor, and you know that from me and my dad. Fucking horse, fucking horse. Where'd you at that? The 5. Me too, motherfucker. You jinx. That sort of thing. So, but yeah. So, um, yeah, I forgot to text Mike. So let me give myself one of those. So So my picks I post on SJ's Discord, and they're up for everybody to see for this weekend. And maybe maybe we get better odds on that Phillies winning 4 with the sequence that they have there. Who knows? But there's nothing I want more than defiling the visitors' clubhouse if we clinch in 4. That's something I would really love to do is celebrate in their on their field. Because they celebrated on our field a couple of years ago, winning the division. So paybacks, but that's just me. But it is going to be a tough series, and and I will argue till the cows come home that when you play a division winner or when you play a team in your own division, those other team just a little bit more than those cross divisional matchups like Phillies and Brewers that the Brewers didn't choke. But it is Phillies, Mets, Dodgers, Padres, uh, Cleveland, and Detroit, and Yankees and Royals. And there's a catch for a first down. So 55 seconds, no timeouts for Atlanta. And that's out of bounds. Now they got to spike the ball with 21 seconds left. So, and Young Ho is getting out of our minds, and he's getting ready for that field goal, potential tying field goal. And I know it's Young Wei, but it's spelled Young Ho, okay? I know that. But, we have to have some fun here, even if it is sometimes inappropriate humor. And man, Kirk Cousins been in the league for 13 years. Jesus Christ. All right, so you get a first down here. So we got a 1st and 10 with 17 seconds left. Ball at the Tampa Bay 43. Should have let him catch it and then tackle him because the time would have ran out because I doubt they get the field goal unit back in time. So I think what you got to do here is you got to go for the end zone here because anything over the middle, there's an injury for Tampa Bay, so they're going to lose a timeout. That doesn't matter too much at this time. And Koo did miss a field goal earlier tonight, so he missed a field goal where there was a penalty on Tampa Bay, and then he went to kick again. He missed it. Then he had a field goal block from 54. So he's not had a good night tonight. But, they didn't show that miss that went right over the goalpost, which if that happens, it's no good. But you still have 12 seconds left. I figure you take one shot at the end zone, and if you can't get there, you go for the field goal. Because if you're Tampa Bay, you keep them in the middle of the field. If it's in the middle of the field, the game's over, and SJ and I cash our winning bets. And thankfully, I did not do a parlay because parlay is French for sucker bet sometimes. So 2nd and 10. They're down with 6, 5, 4. So they spike it with 1 second left. So we get to see if Koo can make up for his blunder earlier and then the block kick there. And I imagine Tampa Bay is going to ice him here. They call it delay a game here. Atlanta was looking for a reset of the play clock, and they didn't get it. So now it's a 52-yard field goal here. And I say he's going to hook it. And there's the ice. So let's see what he does here. So we're just waiting to see what happens with this field goal. As all of a sudden we turned into a sidecast. And right down the middle. And at the end of regulation, we honored Jameis Winston in his 30-30 season with the game tied at 30-30. All right, so they're going to do the coin flip here. And here's a rule change I'd like to see in the NFL that is never going to happen because, we got to give the one rule I'd like to see changed is I just think that if the road team is going to have the honors of calling the coin toss before the start of the game, if a game goes overtime, I think the home team should call it. But that's just me. It's never going to happen, but it's worth a suggestion. So, but that's me and my bizarro world out there. So, but we have overtime here in Atlanta, and we quickly turned from Joe Quill's show, all the typical stuff I do, into sidecasting here. So let me do something else here. So let me do this. Do this. See if I can figure this out here. So we have the kickoff to begin overtime, and it's a touchback, so I'll take it out to the 30-yard line. I mean, I could do that, but I'm not. Move that from scene, add a new scene, blank. All right, hold on a second. Myself there, shrink myself down, add to the scene. So there we go. So we have 1st and 10 for Atlanta. The Algier gets a yard. And let me put my... So just trying to fit everything in here as best I can here with EV Mux. So I guess the best I can do. So you have a short pass there for a gain of 7. Got a 3rd and 2. in London's hurt on the play. You can tell the um, playing on Thursday is taking a toll on him there. Well, might have lost his breath there. Stakes. And just to let you know, I do have an update on. I do have an update on. I'll go back to me here. I do have an update on. Uh, Also eligible for Saturday. Our Manny Moda Frank will be joining me on Saturday. He's a professional gambler. He'll be joining me, and we'll be looking at the 5 races at Keeneland Racecourse on Saturday. And I just got to tell him what races tomorrow. So let's go back to this. There we go. As Atlanta's at the Tampa Bay 45. And game over. Well, that was quick. And, there's really nothing you can do about that because, it's a Thursday night game. These guys are tired to begin with. They're playing on top of it on short rest, and, it happens. So, but, tough loss for Tampa Bay. Atlanta gets a big win there. Any divisional win is a big win, especially when you have a game like that. So, congrats to the Falcons. They're 3-2. Atlanta's also 3-2. 45-yard pass to Cadrell Hodge. So quick and painless overtime. And Tampa Bay does pull out the win there. So that will conclude our show here. Rock and Reese was watching on YouTube. I do appreciate him participating tonight. Mike is here. SJ is here. Voltaire, who was watching via Twitter, he was watching from the beginning there. And, we had a fun time here tonight, like we do every Monday through Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9 o'clock. Wednesdays are 10 o'clock. But keep an eye out. Always, especially if you have the Twitter app downloaded to your phone, make sure you do have those alerts set because you never know. I might do a surprise stream. I might do a stream, that starts earlier because we did not have a show on Wednesday, the golf show at 9 o'clock. So, I may start early. So always keep those alerts going because guess what? I may do a surprise stream. I may do a gaming stream. Who knows? Just going to have fun with you guys because that's what this is all about here. So, and I do appreciate everybody who took the opportunity to join me here tonight and everybody as well watching after the fact as well because it is a fun thing that I do here, and I try not to. I'm trying to grow my brand more and more with each passing day. So we're going to call it a night. Do want to thank everybody for joining me. Catch me Saturday morning. Me and Frank will be looking over the Keeneland card. We got 5 races we're going to look at. The 5 graded stakes races. I believe it's either 6 through 10 or 7 through 11. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but we'll be looking at them tomorrow. I'll be writing up the article earlier on Friday so that I can have my script ready to go for the show on Saturday, and we'll be ready to go. So appreciate everybody for joining me here tonight, and just a reminder that we're going to have somebody who's going to tell Chase Utley, hold his beer from this.
World champions. World fucking champions.
All right, so I'm done. So thank you so much for joining me here tonight, and let's do it again Monday night at 9 o'clock, and catch me on the Bleacher Brothers Network Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for another edition of Also Eligible. So have a great night, everybody. Catch you Monday, and if not sooner on Bleacher Brothers Saturday morning. Good night, everybody.